The third pillar is transcendence. And this could be one that's a little bit harder to understand. But what I'm really talking about here are those moments when you feel lifted above the hustle and bustle of daily life, when you kind of feel like you've stepped outside of your own small voices in your mind and you connect to something much bigger than yourselves. So for a lot of people, that might come through religion or spiritual practices, going to a service, participating in a ritual, meditating, praying, things like that. But there are non-religious ways to experience this pillar as well. Things like dancing together, so kind of shared moments of ecstasy, or being in nature, looking out at the Grand Canyon, or even just being in the woods. And the American transcendentalist Emerson talked about how when he would go for walks in the woods, he felt like a transparent eyeball. His sense of self started to dissolve a little bit as he felt more connected to the world around him. So nature is one way to experience transcendence. Listening to music, looking at art, there are a lot of different ways. And these experiences exist on a spectrum too. There are major transcendent experiences where people talk about completely losing their sense of self and feeling at one with the world around them. I've never had one of those, so I don't know what that's like, but I have had the more everyday ones where you are in nature, you are meditating, and that small self kind of goes away. The volume turns down on it a little bit, and you do feel more in touch with reality itself. And the really interesting thing about these experiences is that people who have had them or who have them on a regular basis because they've kind of programmed them into their lives, they say that these experiences are among the most meaningful experiences of their lives. And the reason, I think, is that when you have an experience like that, you kind of go up to the mountaintop. It's this transformative experience. You come back down and it shifts your perspective in some way. So people talk about how after having an experience like that, their true values are remembered to them. They remember what they are. So they're less focused on kind of superficial values and more focused on things like connectedness, relationships, things like this. And so it can be transformative in that way. And there's a study that I'll quickly mention that I think really illustrates that even the smallest of these experiences can be transformative. So the study was conducted at Berkeley out in California, where there's this kind of towering grove of eucalyptus trees in the middle of campus. And these trees are 200 feet high. And the people in the study had students go out and look up at these trees just for 1 minute. And it wasn't a lot of time, but it turns out that even that 1 minute of awe and wonder ended up shifting things for the students, so that later on they reported like their sense of self was smaller. And they also, when they were put in a situation in the study to help somebody, they were much more likely to help that person. So these experiences are not just intrinsically meaningful, but they kind of, they reorient your values and your behavior to be more in line with leading a meaningful life.